Nick Griffin, you've come to Stoke-on-Trent to launch a very specific campaign. Why are you here today?
We're here because Stoke-on-Trent is one of our best areas in the upcoming general election. It's an area where we're in with a serious chance of winning, and launching the campaign here, we draw attention to the fact that the British National Party isn't just Nick Griffin and Outer East London, Barking and Dagenham. It's also local people, West Midlands people here in Stoke-on-Trent.
How do you feel about those people who accuse you of jumping on a bandwagon when it comes about, war veterans and the likes? What do you think about that?
Well, I think that up until now, the British people haven't had a choice. You've got a Labour government, Tory opposition, Lib Dem opposition, even UKIP, all saying that they believe it's right that British soldiers should go out and fight and die or come home in bits from Afghanistan in order, they say, to democratise Afghanistan, which we believe isn't our job, but in fact to make it safe for American oil companies to put pipelines through the place. And I think it's really good that in this forthcoming election, the British public will have a clear moral choice between the warmongers parties, all of them exactly the same, and the British National Party, which says it's not our war, it's not our fight, it's futile, it's counterproductive, we should bring our boys and girls home right now.
So we bring them home. What would you do with our troops then? How would you see the role of our troops going forward?
Well, for a start, they need a break. The army is very nearly at breaking point as a result of the illegal war in Afghanistan, in Iraq, and the crazy war in Afghanistan. They need time to recuperate, to train, to get morale back up. They need to be properly equipped. There's a lot of work to be done here. We need guards on Channel Tunnel to stop illegal immigrants sneaking into this country.
So it'd be like a UK border force then?
Well, where there are serious matters where British interests are at stake, for instance, if Argentina tried to take the Falkland Islands again, then we believe that somewhere it's legitimate to send British troops, providing they're properly equipped, which they haven't been in Afghanistan, providing they're properly equipped, then in the end they've signed up being prepared to fight and if needs be die for the interests of this country. And we wouldn't hesitate if we were a government to send them somewhere where the interests of this country were at stake, but that's not the case in Afghanistan. That's a war for American oil companies.
You've also got concerns about the level of equipment of the troops as well, haven't you?
Yeah, certainly when you see so many of those lads coming back without legs, it's because they've been driving around in snatch Land Rovers, which were designed for the streets in Northern Ireland and weren't designed to roll over huge landmines. And the Americans, the Canadians, they've all sorted it out. They've got properly armoured kit. Their boys and girls don't get injured or killed that way. Whereas this government always wants to fight its crazy wars on the cheap. And it's an absolute outrage. Again, we bring them home. That war is costing billions of pounds every year. If that money wasn't being wasted on a futile war, it could be used to equip our troops properly so that they have to go to a proper and legitimate war. They've got every chance of coming home safe and sound.
Moving forward to the general election, you're fielding three candidates. You sound mightily confident. Most political commentators say your best chances in Stoke Central. That's somewhat been rocked today by the news that Albert Walker may well stand as a parliamentary candidate. I know that you said that you spoke to him and he won't. I spoke to him about 12 o'clock and he indicated to me all he was looking for was a financial backer and he was good to go.
Well, I've spoken to Albert this morning about it and he said to me he doesn't think he will stand. He probably will stand in Abbey Holton as a local non-political ward candidate, and if he does, well, really good luck to him, because if he's unable to stand the enormous unfair pressure that's put on BNP councillors, but he still wants to serve his constituents locally, we won't stand in his way. I don't think he will stand against Simon Darby. It would be unfair if he does, because he was offered the first crack at that seat and he said no, he didn't want to do it. If he doesn't want to do it for the British National Party, then why should he do it when someone from the Labour Party comes along and gives some local businessman a few £1,000 to try and persuade Albie Walker to stand and split the British National Party vote? Obviously it will be a blow to us if he does it, but I hope and I believe that he won't. But the Labour Party is going to, I'm sure, face real socialist candidates or something similar, splitting its vote. But whoever stands, the Tories have got an Asian belly dancer standing. Whoever stands, there are going to be quite a few of them. There's only going to be two candidates who can possibly win, and it's either going to be the Labour candidate or the British National Party Simon Darby.
Talking about the Labour Party candidate, though, 25 years as an MP, well regarded, well respected in the city. How can Simon Darby, in your opinion, overcome the level of affection that Mark Fisher's held in the city?
I don't know if there's a great deal of affection for Mark Fisher. manager. Yeah, you've got someone there who's been part of their parliamentary sleaze and the expenses while getting 67,000 quid from a Qatari museum to go along and present a couple of bits about museums somewhere in the Middle East. I don't think that that's the kind of MP or the kind of commitment that the people in Stoke Central actually deserve or want. And you know, we're not going to be backwards or shy in this campaign. We've got a huge amount of material now about the complete and utter scandal of the way in which the Labour Party up and down the country has been using its pressure for private finance initiatives and similar frauds on the public purse to enrich members of the Labour Party or their spouses. This Labour government is rotten to the core, from the top to the bottom, with sleaze and scandal. It's not just about the the gold-plated bath plugs and such like in the porn films they've had at the taxpayers' expense. More than that, the whole public-private finance initiative, the whole privatisation, the rolling privatisation of the commonwealth of this country, which has been pushed forward by the Labour Party, is a gigantic fraud and theft against the public purse, and we're going to be exposing it during this election. Then the people of Stoke and Trent can make up their minds whether they've got an honest party in the Labour Party or whether they want to change.
A jewel in the crown, you describe this city as. What do you think you have to do, though, to win over the hearts and minds of those people who still think that the BNP is a racist party? I think that we've got to carry on doing what we're doing, because an awful lot of people vote Stoke for us. When they see our campaign literature, when they see us talking about things such as the Afghan war, such as the unfairness of the Labour Party's privatisation schemes, the economic mess they've made of this country by bailing out banks but not bailing out productive industry, they're going to see us talking about all sorts of issues like that. And when we're talking about immigration, we're not saying anything racist or anything extreme. We're simply saying what almost every person in the streets of Stoke says, which is, I'm not racist, but allowing vast numbers of people from the third world to pour into an already poor city like Stoke is not actually much good for them, but it's grotesquely unfair on local people, and it's time to stop and put local people first. What makes you think, though, that Stoke-on-Trent will return your first BNP candidate? I know you've got 9 councillors. You're likely to lose 1, maybe 2, if Ali Walker decides to follow Albie. So, in a time where your party seems to be in a little bit of a decline, you've got a massive job ahead of you, haven't you?
We've got a massive job, let's face it. We're probably going to have council elections on the same day as the general election, and we will be looking to win a whole lot more council seats, the length and breadth of this city. And in the end, it is for the public here to decide. If the people of Stoke are actually happy with the Labour Party, if they're happy with the fact their roads haven't been gritted, while they're planning over the next few years to spend 18 billions a year helping the Indians and the Chinese to build up their industries while closing down our industries, if they're happy with that kind of thing, let them carry on voting Labour. But if they're dissatisfied with the Labour Party, if they don't want a government which gives their freedoms away to Europe and which sends their boys to fight and die in wars that have got nothing to do with us, then they've got to stop voting Labour and vote British National Party. We'll see what happens.
Finally, Nick Griffin, have you got the new blood to bring into the party to field candidates in Stoke-on-Trent in every ward?
We've got a lot of good new potential candidates, but if there's people watching this who fancy a crack at standing for a party which tells it like it is and is determined to stand up for the people of Stoke-on-Trent and the people of Britain, get in touch with us and we'll sign you up.